Hello, World Civilization 106 class. Welcome to Late Start. Of course, class is not starting yet, not until the 1st, but I just wanted to get you, I wanted to introduce myself and help give you a little bit more ideas about what to expect in the class. So, first of all, I want to remind all of you that this is a late start. And late starts are, well, they're like cram courses, basically, because we are covering the same amount of information of a semester in a shorter amount of time. And so I get students who see the shorter amount of time part, and they're not getting the memo that, yeah, again, we're just taking the same amount of stuff and we're just packing it in. So you really need to come into this class right off the way ready to work a lot. The advantages to it, though, is that you will also be finished earlier than if you would have been doing the normal route. The bottom line is you have this time period. I'm sure a lot of you have a job and maybe a girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, combination of a few things. I don't know, whatever you're doing. You're busy. You got things going on in your life. Well, whoever's in your life, you need to let them know, hey, I'm on board with you, but I got some work to do. If you have a job also, and you're doing this, like you're just going to have to prioritize this. And it's hard to concentrate during this time period in particular. Look, I haven't seen a human being all day. Not one, okay? And so I get it. This is COVID era. So whatever you think of COVID era, it's not fun. No one's having fun. So, but you have an opportunity to still get your education, to get a good education and to be able to pursue your dreams and hopes. And once we're out of this mess, that you can actually springboard into being what you want to be and do what you want to do. So this is great. You're taking advantage of your life by making this great choice of going to college and getting educated and getting your requirements out of the way so that you can fulfill your dreams, hopefully. Okay? So, so I'm going to support that. I always tell students, sorry, this thing keeps falling out. I have been, most of my grown-up life, I took care of my daughter as basically a single dad, and so I understand parenting issues, sometimes childcare, a lot of distractions around the house with the children, or trying to work through that. I went through a divorce in the middle of going to school, and I'm just saying that to say, I understand real life distractions. Having said that, you do need to communicate with me, and you do need to still be putting in the effort. So I'm very empathetic to issues. But empathy means that, first of all, that you're able to communicate with me what's going on, and that we're able to work something out, and that you're still putting your effort into it. Because while I understand why things can be hard, I also understand that you are going to do the work or you're not. And so I don't give away things for free. I don't let people have passes for free. I reward people who put in the hard work to be rewarded. And that means sometimes something's going on and you need to have an extra day to turn in an assignment. Then you contact me. You let me know. And especially if it's not a regular thing. Sometimes your life might be so overwhelming that it might be best to not stay in the class because of circumstances. That I had to do that before. The bottom line is I'm here to have your back. I want to see you all succeed. And I set up my classes in a way that you can succeed and get educated. Now, you do get exposed to a tremendous amount of work in this class that, again, can seem a little bit overwhelming. What I want to remind you all, I'm going to let you all know, I do not have you memorize anything in this class. There's no multiple choice quizzes or exams. So when you're seeing all this information, instead of trying to cram little factoids into your brain, which you're going to remember for a test, but then forget about later, I want you to think about what you're learning. You will have to put dates in papers, and I'll talk about that a little bit more later. But you don't have to memorize dates. I want you to focus on thinking about what it is you learned new about a civilization that you've never been exposed to or had an opportunity to examine. We're covering what is called prehistory all the way up into the 17th century, and I'm focusing on world religions. Now, why did I do that? First of all, I am very well aware that many in the Central Valley are religious. I grew up in the Central Valley. I went to MJC. And my own background, my father's side at one time used to be very practicing Roman Catholic, priests and nuns, even in the family. Then on my mom's side, Christian clergies, evangelical Baptists, Christian Coalition members, so forth. So what my point is that I am very much aware of religious culture, and I've also been very much exposed to the anti-religious culture. What I want you to realize is that this isn't a class that's requiring you to compromise your beliefs. This is not about getting you to believe in something different than you believe. In fact, you don't have to believe anything that I say. I don't even want you to believe everything that I say. I am teaching you a consensus view of secular history. That's what basically we do as instructors. And what does that mean? Secular, you should look that word up. It's a word that you need to understand. This is a secular institution. It's not a private institution that's based on a religious philosophy. It's not anti-religious. It's just not religious. So a historian, when we study ancient Israel and we pick up the Bible, a secular historian doesn't say, well, this has to be pure, accurate history because it's the Bible. They do with that history what they do with all history. They ask, does this line up with what we see in the archaeological evidence? And so then they come up with a consensus view. Sometimes it complements a text like the Bible, and other times there is a serious skepticism about the history of that. I know that that's a sensitive topic when we get into stuff like that. So again, I'm not even telling you what my view is on all these things. I'm teaching you about what world historians, or the mainstream views about different world civilizations, how they emerged, came about, and so forth. You'll see that the first week we start with evolution. Many of you don't believe it at all. Well, I'm teaching you what secular physical anthropologists believe is how to understand the beginnings of human civilization and the beginnings of religion. That doesn't mean that you have to believe that. I'm teaching you why that is what is taught, like from the majority kind of mainstream view of all these things. It comes out of the textbook, okay? And so I want you to just feel secure. No one's attacked, and this is not about indoctrination, and it's a safe place, if you will, to be exposed to Islam, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, Taoism, Confucianism. We're going to learn about Zoroastrianism. We're going to learn, I bet you've heard of some of these religions, and others you're going to be like, no. Okay, no, we're going to cover. This thing keeps falling out. And it's going to be in a mainly neutral way. And I will cover more or less about this as once we get the week started. I'll explain more about the assignments and what you're expected to do and how to do them correctly and get full points. I don't want to make this announcement much longer. I hope that you can come into this class and be excited about it, no matter what your personal background is or what your personal opinions are, your politics or anything. I hope that you can actually just see that this is what college is about. It's about exposing you to the world and getting knowledge about the world. There's an Icelandic phrase that I really love. It's heimsker. Now heimsker, it's kind of an insult when they say that somebody is dumb or whatever, but it literally means from home. What I like about the concept is that it's more of an explanation. You can be hyper intelligent, but if you're not exposed to other information, you can only understand the world as you've been exposed to it, right? So, you know, Benjamin Franklin said there's no shame in being ignorant, but unwilling to learn. In other words, when we don't know something, there's no shame in that. We didn't get exposed to it. But to not want to understand something, that's the thing that you should be asking yourself about. Like, why wouldn't I want to know about this, right? And there's an Arabic phrase from Andalusia when Spain was Islamic, and it's fil haraka baraka. In mobility, there is blessing. In the ability to go out and see things. And while we're in a COVID era, we don't get to see a lot, but we get an opportunity in this class to study. And this is what I was able to do first before I got to travel the world and see it. And I want to expose you to the world. I'm your professor here to help you facilitate that and to succeed. So that's enough. 10 minutes in, almost 11. We'll be in touch, and I hope you all are hanging in there and having a good week.